Okay.
Evodia?
Yes, sweetheart, I can hear you. I can hear you.
It means
Okay,
that
yeah.
they can hear me too.
Yes, they can hear
Oh,
you too. Excellent Grace just confirmed they can hear you loud and clear. We thank
awesome.
God. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you all for joining us. Thank you so much for your patience. That means a lot to us. Thank you for staying there with us. So there are things we cannot control, but what we can control is being patient. So thank you. Sister Evodia had asked me to introduce myself in few words. So my best way to introduce myself is that I'm a fun-loving person. Awa is a fun-loving person. To add to Awa, I'm married and I have 2 boys. So those are the simple definition of Awa. All right. Thank you so much,
Mhm.
Sister Evodia.
Yeah, thank you so much as well. Now, today we are talking on a great topic, which is about relationships. We know how complex it is to bring two people of two different characters to be together. It's a really complex situation, but with the help of the Almighty God, we can thrive through. So, the topic today is the fundamentals of a healthy relationship. We go into relationship without even having a pre-knowledge of what a relationship should look like, maybe because the society never taught us or it's not in our school curriculum. But as time goes on, we start learning, we try and errors. So, Sister Ebai, with your own words, what is a relationship in general?
Right.
What is a
In my
relationship?
in my own words, I would say relationship is a connection between two people. Two people who are willing and ready to form the ship that is in the relation. So that is what I would say in my own words. And there are 3 principles that would bind a relationship. The
Mm-hmm.
first one is trust. Commitment is the second one. The third one is vulnerability. Vulnerability, I see that in the aspect of love. Because when you trust, you allow your partnership to know that you care for them. So you allow the other person to know that you care for them, and in return, they know that you also care, or they all care for you in return. The commitment is that one is able to learn to value the growth of strength and clarity of another person's soul, even if that means threatening your own personal wants. That is the commitment. The vulnerability is that how open are you to allow your spouse or your partner to see those parts of you that no one has ever been able to see. So that's the vulnerability, and that's the love. That's where the love come in. So in my own words, I would say those are the 3 principles that bind a relationship between two people.
Thank you very much. Sister Ebai is specifically talking about the romantic kind of relationship, because we have different various types of relationship, and today we'll be focusing on that relationship. So you talked about vulnerability, commitment, which is so important in a relationship. The commitment is the first sign to let you know that the other partner is indeed serious about this relationship, because without commitment there is no other way to translate to you the how much somebody values, or the other partner values, that relationship. They say words speaks loud I mean action speaks louder than words. So it's through commitment that you can know that the other party is really really interested or is serious about that relationship. So in marriage as well, we talk, or in relationship, there are rules, right? We have different rules to play as partners in a relationship. As you said, it's a relation in a ship. So in that ship, there are rules in that ship. So can you please tell us the different rules that can help us know? Because identifying your rules and working with your rules can really help to build a healthy relationship. Can you tell us what are these rules that both for the and we are talking specifically about a hetero kinship, that is a man with a woman.
Right. So
Yes.
thank you, Sister Evodia, for that question. We would focus today on romantic relationships. There are other type of
Mhm.
relationships that we can also focus on, but with time, with just the time that we have, we would focus on a romantic relationship. And Steph Bridget just asked that what are the roles that each party has to play in the ship that we are building together. Of course, we have huge roles to play to make the relationship work, to build that ship together. I have grouped the roles in 3 ways, and I would ask them in the form of a question. It's something that we ought to individually want to make it work, not putting both of us in the ship to make it work, but what do you have to offer day to day to make your relationship work? The question we want to ask is, what can I do on a day-to-day basis to create a healthy relationship? What can we each do to have that relationship that we desire and we want? I have grouped the roles in 3 ways. The first way I would say is the insight. Insight is about the awareness, understanding, and learning. With insight, you are able to know yourself better. What I mean by that is, because you are aware of who you are, of what your values are, of what you would stand for. And in that way, you are able to communicate to the other person because you become aware of what you want in a relationship and how you want it to go. And you would do your best to know who you are to bring that relationship to its fruition. So with insight, I'll give an example. Say you come back from work and you're so tired and you snap at your husband or your kid or anyone in the house for not doing something right by you. It could mean that you are tired from work. The insight in that would mean for you to take a break and relax and rethink your reaction to that problem. Maybe it was something very small that you could control. But if you had enough insight on how you relate to aspects, then you're able to control that situation. The second one is mutuality. Mutuality is knowing that both people have needs and both set of needs matter. With mutuality, you are able to communicate your needs in a clear and direct fashion. You will be willing to meet your partner's needs as well, and allow your partner to do what they love and provide the support that they need. That is mutuality. Understanding that you have needs and other people also have needs. The third one is emotional regulation. It's about regulating your feelings in response to things that happen in the relationship. With emotional regulation, you are able to think through your decision more clearly. Let's say your partner makes a promise to you and they end up not fulfilling that promise. How do you respond to that? How do you keep yourself calm in that situation? We don't want to assume, we want to ask. We want to communicate. Ask the question. You had promised to do this for me. How come you forget? Can you help me understand why you forget? That is you cultivating the inner conversations inside of you so you can easily communicate your needs to the other person. That is when your values play a role. If you're someone who keeps to their promises, that's when you tell your husband, I really like when you keep to your promise, and if you would fail in your promise, please let me know. Or I could have put a reminder for you to keep that to your expectation for what you had planned to do for us. So with these 3 ways, each party is able to do their best to make the ship grow and expand.
Thank you very much, sis. Thank you very much. We were talking on the how to balance our rules in a relationship. You talked about the first thing is to know who you are, right? If you don't know who you are and you don't know the values that you hold, it will be really, really difficult for you to react in certain situations. In certain situations, like for example, you must know what triggers you in order for you to communicate it effectively as well to your partner. You should not assume that he knows or she knows what is in your mind. I mean, nobody here reads the mind. So most often, what really the problems that what really causes problems in relationship is lack of communication or the lack of effective way of communicating. And we always think about me instead of thinking about us. You just think about me and me and me, and I mean, it doesn't work that way. So not assuming but asking questions to let your partner know how you feel will really help this relationship. And then the mutuality as well, you talked about the mutuality role. It's good to be vulnerable, to know. And Sister Sheila here says self-awareness is key. Exactly, self-awareness. You must really know yourself, know the values that you, the core values that you hold. It might be different from your partner's own, and that is
Yeah.
why if you don't know your core values, or if you wish to know your partner's core value, there is an assessment sheet for that. You
Yeah.
see, there's an assessment sheet whereby you can both sit down together and share this sheet, and each person will circle their own their own self-awareness or their own core values, so that and later you can exchange them. And but this way you can help you, it can help you understand your partner more, because sometimes we don't even know who we are until we have those sheets in front of us, and from there we can diagnose the kind of core values that we uphold onto. So I want to use this opportunity to welcome Sister Sheila. Sister Sheila, if you have any question, Sheila, if you Sheila, please. I'm sorry I call you Sheila. Sister Sheila, if you have anything here, please. If you have any question, you can please share it here with us. Sister Excellent Grace as well. Please, if you have any question, let us know. And before we continue to the next question, I would like to steal these 2 minutes and we'll talk about these marriage tools or relationship tools that I was about talking before you came online. You see, this tool is a great tool. Let me put it here. It's a 21 days prayers and fasting journal. You see, this journal it's not an ordinary prayer and fasting a pamphlet that you use. No, it's a journal. It's going to help you register all those things that you feel, and it's going to help you a lot because we have the activity sheets here. There are some activity sheets that are going to help you to jot down. You see, when you jot down those emotions, when you jot down those things, you can easily understand your partner or what is going on within you in order to work it out with your partner. And then the problem is that you must not have a relationship challenge in order to use this 21 days fasting and prayer journal. No, it's for everybody, and it's going to help you grow more in love with your family, not only with your partner, with your family, with the people around you, and with your community in general. So thank you very much for giving me this time to talk about this tool. Now, if you want this tool, it's all free for you. You can download it free, and I'll be sharing the link right away. But before I share the link, I would like to ask our self-love coach here our next question. So, uh, now we'll talk about compatibility, right? Because some people think that you have to really, they say, this is my soulmate. You always hear my soulmate. I'm waiting for that perfect soulmate, right? That soulmate means somebody who is compatible with you in all. And I want to ask you, if two people really need to be compatible in order to have a healthy relationship, is
Right.
it a necessity?
Right. Compatibility is a very great word, and if you don't have the understanding of compatibility, then it becomes very hard to know if you are in fitness with another person. What compatibility means is in the way that you fit. It comes in how well you both fit into each other. It does not mean that we are the same, but our rhythm flow in a way that fulfills my needs and it fulfills the other person's needs. The question is, do we have to be fit to make it work? and have a healthy relationship? I would say yes to a certain degree. Compatibility to some partners or people comes naturally, and to others, they have to work very hard on it, which is okay. As long as there is understanding and willingness to make it work, that's the best part. However, coming from different backgrounds could spark those differences between the partners. There ought to be a meeting point where they fit. That's where the focus should lie for a healthy relationship. I say this because most times we turn to focus on the areas that we are not compatible and are trying to change the other person. There is beauty in our differences, and it's from those differences that we expand as partners. Instead of trying to change the other to make the relationship work, accept those differences and things will naturally take their place. I'm not saying that you should disrespect yourself with what is not acceptable. This is where communication comes in, and setting healthy boundaries with your relationship helps you greatly. Sheila had mentioned that self-awareness is a key, for sure, is the key. As long as you know your values, you know how you want to be appreciated and honored, and you're ready to communicate that to your partner, that helps you build a relationship. Compatibility can be seen in how intimate we are. When I say intimate, it comes in different aspects of intimacy. I define intimacy as our ability to see each other just the way they are. Intimacy to me means into me see. If someone can write that down, into me see. Into my deepest, most vulnerable parts. How well does my partner see me? And how well do I see my partner? How well am I showing up? And when I show who I am in my core, do we really line up? There are 5 types of intimacy as I've come to realize. The first one is the recreational intimacy, doing things together. If I love to watch movies, do you like that with me? It doesn't have to be the same movies. It could be something different. If I love to watch the news, do you watch that with me? You must not sit with me for hours to watch it, but you just take that minute and be present for 5 minutes or 5 seconds and say, oh, what are you watching? Can you share that with me? Did I just hear something in the news? Can you share that with me? Did I just watch the movie and did I just see something that could help us? Can you share that with me? Do we have those conversations or have common things that we can do together? There are a lot of things that couples can do together, and you find what works best for you. The second one is intellectual intimacy. Do we feed off on each other? Are we able to have those deep conversations and the other will not feel like, oh, this is boring? Don't say that. I just want to lie down. If I go to politics, if I go to world events, if I go to geography, are you ready to go there with me? And I say again, it doesn't mean that you have to go there with me for the full hour, or I have to go there with you for the full hour. For example, with me, my husband likes to talk about sports and the news. I take interest to hear what he has to say, or watch it with him and just give my time. Sometimes I watch movies. He partake in the movies. I like, what are you watching? That doesn't even make sense. So we spend the time and we try to understand how well we can feed off us on each other. Sometimes it could be challenging because you can be coming from different areas. That is where you communicate and are open to learn. The third one is spiritual intimacy. We don't have to be from the same religious background or from the same perspectives about spirituality, but does our concept about the world meet? Do we see ourselves the same? Do we connect spiritually? Do we make each other feel big and equal, or do we try to minimize the other person? The fourth one is emotional intimacy. Do I feel safe, and does my partner feel safe and vulnerable? Do we really get each other in our most vulnerable moments? Or do we say to each other to get over it, be strong or be tough? Or do we find time to laugh together and cry together if there is need to do so? The fifth one, last but not the least, sexual intimacy. I can't miss this one. Do we like the same things? Do we light up each other? Are we in the same kind of exploration? Are we talking about sex just the way we talk about kids and money? Or do we only talk about sex when we are lying down to do the work? Are we willing to satisfy each other just the way they want to be satisfied? And also be able to communicate how we want to be satisfied. That being said, partners do not have to be compatible on all these levels. It is important that there should be a certain level of fitness. As I had mentioned before, difference allows room for expansion, growth, and contribution. Healthy relationship is a process and not a destination. So I would say to a certain degree, we have to be compatible.
Thank you very much, sis. Wow, you gave us a lot of nuggets here. And in all that you said, there are some few things that I can pick. You must not be compatible in order to live a healthy relationship, but in certain aspects, you have to be compatible. Now, the challenge is always, how do you know what your spouse or your partner loves or doesn't like, or how do they want it? Because from the start, from your early relationship, it will really take time. It will be difficult for you to know. But there is a very short method that you can use if both of you are really interested in making that relationship work, that you can always use in order to know each other better. And I'll always go back to the cheat sheets. I call them the cheat sheets. There are cheat sheets for compatibility, to know what your partner loves at their leisure time, to know their love language and all that stuff. And for that, I'll be sharing with you, I'll be launching my website soon, whereby you have all these tools free in order to use it with your spouse, or even use it by yourself to know what you really want. And as you rightly said, a healthy a relationship is not healthy by on its own. No, it's like a garden. That a relationship is like a garden that you need to put in effort. You need to work on that relationship to make it work. When you see couples that are happily together, it doesn't just come overnight. They have to work on it, and you must have that mindset of accepting changes and believing that that relationship grows as you two grow. You must have a very open mindset in a relationship to accept that there are changes. People grow, people change, and accept that growth as well, both for you and your spouse. So you also talk about listening. Yeah, listening is so important. Even when maybe your spouse, as you said, your spouse loves talking about football or watching about football, even if you don't like it, but just giving him or her that time to listen to him makes him feel important, makes him feel heard, make him feel that that you are taking him into consideration. So all these little things matter in a relationship. That's why I said it's not all about me. No, there are a lot of things that you have to give up in order to satisfy. Even if it means giving up some things in order to satisfy the other partner, it's worth it sometimes, because a relationship is all about building it. You must exert some effort. It's like a garden. You need to water that garden. You need to weed off those rough grasses that grows up to choke up that relationship, which are bad communication. The Bible acknowledges us to always communicate in a way that it will provoke goodness in the other person. So if you have this in mind, let everything that comes out of my mouth be salty, be good, be something that can provoke the other person to be good. Let your words not crush the other one's spirit. So if you keep all these things in your mind, in your relationship, you will ultimately make that relationship work. Most relationships don't work because of the partner. It's not because of that relationship. It's because of the people who are involved in that relationship. A relationship cannot on its own work. The two people have to work on it. So we are really having, no, we started late, and I would not like to take much of your time, sis, because today is your birthday and the viewers as well. It was programmed to be for 1 hour, and I'll take this 1 minute again to talk about this book. I'm sorry to see that. I want to take this time to talk about this book, which is a married Christian. You might see that it's a Christian book, but guess what, guys? It's also good for people who are not Christians. Although there are a lot of Bible verses inside, but it's a self-help book. This book is going to help you, not only those who are in marriage, not only those whose marriage are at the verge of collapsing, or those who are having some challenges in their marriages, but it's also going to help prepare the single one for marriage. So please, this book is available on Amazon. It's really affordable, and you can have it there on Amazon. If you type a married Christian, it comes up, and you can have yours as well. I'll be sharing the link right here. So sis, before we go, thank you very much for being there. Thank you, Sister Sheila. But before we go, sis, please, I want you to just tell us one message to take home, for the viewers, for those who watch later, for those who are not here but will come later to watch. What can they take home from this discussion? Can they really take home?
The one take
Or
home.
better still, what does it really mean to have a healthy relationship?
Sorry, what happened?
Or better still, what does it take to have a healthy, or to cultivate a healthy relationship? A take-home message.
A take home message. All right.
Yes.
As I had mentioned before, there are three things that you want to cultivate every day, like daily things that you want to think about every day: insight, mutuality, and the aspect of emotional regulation. Things would always happen every day. But what's your insight? What do you know about you that can help regulate that in that thing that is happening outside? Because even though you're married, or even though you're in a relationship, that person you are in a relationship with is separate from you. So who is responsible to make the relationship great? The answer is you. If each of us have that in our mind, then we'll wake up every day with that expectation of making it work. Not from the other person's side of things, but from our side of things. So that will be the take-home message I want to bring to everyone, is to take care of you so you can take care of your relationship with your partner.
Amen. Thank you very much, sis. So please, if you are watching, if you want a healthy relationship, it starts from you. You must, first of all, desire to have a healthy relationship. And each day when you get up from your bed, you should ask yourself this question: what can I do today to take this relationship to the next day? When you start asking yourself this question and start responding accordingly, you see that you grow a very healthy relationship. Not all relationships are healthy ones. We are talking about healthy relationships here. So thank you very much, Sister Ebai. I'm looking forward to have you again on this platform, and let's keep talking about the relationship matters. It's so important, because most of us don't really have the knowledge or what to do in time in our relationships. A lot of people don't have these tools or knowledge. As I said before, I'll be launching my website soon, whereby you can have tools and cheat sheets, assessment sheets that can help you to know what your spouse really wants, what they want, or what you want yourself, and also to help you know what to ask, when to ask, and how to communicate effectively, because most relationship problems stems from lack of communication. So communication is very vital in our relationships. So thank you very much, everyone, for being there. Thank you, Sister Sheila. You have been there. Thank you, Excellence Grace. I appreciate you. Thank you, Sister Irina Sanji. Thank you, for Prophetess Faith. We thank you all. Thank you all, the Canadian team, for being there, empowering your girl here. I can feel it. Thank you all, and we'll see you on our next broadcast. Goodbye. Goodbye, Ebai. Thank you, and happy birthday.
Thank
Cheers. Happy
you.
birthday. Okay.